Hi there, thanks for joining me, thanks for coming back to the channel. Today we're going to have a quick kit review, something that many people might already be partly familiar with anyway, in the shape of the Tamiya P-38H/G Lightning, which is the standard kit, which is this one here. More importantly, really today I want to talk about the P-38H Lightning, which is a limited edition white box, as you can see. Just come out, special, very limited run indeed from Tamiya for the summer of 2020. Reason being, this particular issue is a limited edition because it's an aircraft in the States that has been restored and had the scheme of the aircraft 23 Skidoo, which is has the Indian chief on the front, and it's a bit of some cartoon comedy going on there, but it was a fighting aircraft in the Far East in the Pacific campaign in 1943-44, and it served, I think, under 3 pilots, I think it was. We'll come to the pilot details later, but it's unique because it was due to perform at an air show, this restored aircraft, and the air show got cancelled because of the COVID-19 virus situation. So it was only produced like this. It's a bit like the RAF did with the Battle of Britain Memorial flight, where they'll repurpose, repaint a new scheme on the Hurricanes and Spitfires every year or so. And it was going to be this was the scheme for this year. Now it won't get seen, unfortunately. So anyway, Tamiya did a special limited edition. Now it's become quite sought after, quite a desirable item, and I think you're going to struggle to get your hands on one unless it's going to be maybe silly money, but we shall see. We shall see. Anyway, there's a few differences with the H model and the earlier F and G, which is the one that everybody's kind of familiar with. So what I'll do, if I may, is I'm just going to dive straight in there. I've actually had this this white box arrive with me 5 days ago, but I just haven't had time to do the video and the review. My cat's not been very well. It's been a bit poorly, I'm afraid, and she had to go to the veterinary hospital, which is why I'm drinking my tea out of my pussycat mug today in support of her. She's in the house, she's recovering, touch wood, hopefully, but in the meantime it just took up too much time, and it's only today I've got the chance to actually share the news about the Tamiya kit with you. So if you don't mind, I'll have a quick slurp of tea from the pussycat mug and we'll get cracking. Right, what I'll do, I'll put the old box aside and we will try and do a little comparison, if we can, between the old and the new versions that have been brought out. See if I can get the box to stand up. Try and give it a try, put a little weight in it. There we go. Right. So, first of all, we've got the clear parts. I'm just going to do a quick comparison. I'm pretty sure that's the same. It's worth pointing out that on the two kits, yeah, they are in fact identical. There's no difference in the clear parts, not that I can see there. On the new special limited edition white box version, you get everything that's in the original kit and then some extra parts. So you get extra decals, you get I think there's a mask set, and you get obviously the instructions are slightly different, but you get there's one sprue which is actually completely different. I think we go straight to that sprue, which is, I believe it's J. Here we go, J. And you have to forgive me because I'm not going to take these out of the bags because it's a very limited edition, very hard to get hold of, maybe very valuable in the future, may just be a collector's item. Anyway, let's have a look. So, here we go. Let's get you nice and close. So what we got here? We've got the front gear door, which has actually got plating. You can actually see there is some plating detail there. I'll get it into the right place on the camera. There we go. Yeah, there's some plating detail which is not on the other one. We've got some air intakes for the superchargers, and they are bigger. A little bit bigger than they are on the F and G model. Slight differences there. Then we've got the guns. Now this is quite interesting because we've got 20mm cannon here, and then we've got the 50 cal Browning machine guns here, and they go in and actually do appear a little bit differently. If I just show you the other from the original kit, you'll probably be able to see what I mean a little better if I can find it. It's going to be tricky, you might have to bear with me a little bit here because it's not on the same numbered sprue, so I might have to have a little hunt if you just bear with me. Is it that one? pump the sprue. There we go. In the meantime, I'll try and keep you entertained by letting you see the other parts. Don't get too close, obviously. So there's the uprated gear that goes on the H model. You don't get too many reflections ruining that. I mentioned the guns. Struggling to find them. Guns, where are you? Guns. See, there we are. Found it. So let's compare the guns that we have here with the original guns. You can see the two differences. If I can just get the camera to focus like that. There we go. And can you see the slightly different arrangement? Yep. Slightly different arrangement. And that is like for like. So you can see that they're just bigger 50 cals, so as against 20 cals. Anyway, we don't want to get too bogged down in that, but in terms of the other parts that are different, which is the critical thing on this sprue, I'm having a Brett Green moment on, so come on. There we go. Right, now then, instrument panel where you got some slightly different instrumentation. So I mentioned about these air intakes already for the that go on the booms for the supercharger. Then we've got the upgraded, much bigger, meatier looking undercarriage legs, and the front one here. This one. So that is Sprue J, and this is the major sprue that's the difference. So there's not huge differences in the rest of the aircraft. I think that's pretty much it. Obviously the main thing you will notice, it probably struck you already, is the fact that, zoom out a bit more for this, is the fact that this is standard Tamiya grey plastic, very nice it is too, to work with, and the new kit has got this very pale, almost creamy grey, pale grey, cream colour plastic, quite different to what we used to. And then when we dig in the box, I'll come back so you can see what the heck's going on. Sorry about the focus issues. We know my camera's great at outdoor stuff, but it's not so good at the close-ups, I have to say. So let's have a look at what we get. Rather than pull every sprue out, because a lot of it's what you're familiar with, we've got a lovely colour call-out chart, and shows the decals and the stencils, etc. And it's unusual for Tamiya because instead of doing it on one big sheet, they've sort of done it two-sided. Sometimes they do multiple sheets, so they've actually got it on both sides here. And it's quite nicely done, I've got to say. Typical Tamiya quality. You can see, shows both sides. Obviously there's a lot of detail which is behind the boom, so they have to show it as a cutaway, like here and here. 1, 2, 3 skidoo with our little Indian chief with his tomahawk, so you can catch that for you a bit better. Get a bit closer. Can you see him? Just ahead of the 162, 23 skidoo, there he is. It's a nice artwork, it's a nice scheme. And this was a guy called, I did have his name to hand, where is it? He's not going to tell me now, is it, just to be annoying. Is it Dahl? His name is Dahl. And he was quite a famous ace in the Pacific Theatre. Doesn't tell you much on the front though. We've got this very simple, slightly different style of quite thin, narrow. Well, the Tamiya are going to this. I think the Achilles instructions are a bit like this as well. The Achilles tank destroyer. But they don't seem to have given you a huge amount of data like they have done with the Spitfire, for example. You get a separate data sheet. They don't seem to have done that with this kit. It's just it just goes straight into it. It's a little bit confusing that the new decals, and everybody that buys this kit should be wary of this, the new additional decals is this one that's got its back to you, so you can't see them. I very nearly complained. I was about to send this back thinking it was faulty, but put it up to a very, very strong light and you can actually see that that is the secondary decal pack, and on the back you've got the masking set. But it would have been helpful, I think, if they'd have put that face up so you could actually see the ordinary decals behind and the new decals at the front. So Tamiya, somebody's made some small mistake there. That could cause you a few returns. Anyway, I'm just having a look. It's just annoying me that I can't tell you the name of this chap. I'm sure his name was Dahl. If you look it up, 123 Skidoo, number 162, aircraft 162. That was definitely Dahl. He was an ace. I read about him. He flew in several lightnings, not just this one. But they just don't seem to want to tell us about it here. Doesn't mention his name anywhere. There's no reference to him actually at all, which is kind of strange, unusual for Tamiya. Just says White 162 432nd Fighter Squadron. Anyway, so that's it really. So you get obviously different call outs. You've got the Decals different. You've got that Sprue is different. But apart from that, it's pretty much the same kit as everything else. There was one other difference, yes, I forgot to point this out. Sorry, remiss of me worrying too much about the pilot's name. The other thing that's different on this version is the intakes for... If I can get this in the right place. Here we go, that's what I'm after. These are the intakes on the booms for the superchargers. And they are slightly different on this version. So on the H, they're a little bit different shaped. So again, going back to this rather critical one different sprue, that's another of the additional parts. But everything else that was in, I can't stress this enough, the original kit is in there. These are extra on top of, so you get everything that's in the original kit. So if you need to cross over, or you've got, like me, you've got them both, you can do all sorts of mix and match options. You know, you can do it any which way you like, really. But I have to say, it's very nice. Everybody that's built this kit has told me it's fabulous, and it's got this lovely ball bearing weights, of course, which are hiding down here. The ball bearing weights, which ensure that it has the right balance on the model, and you don't end up with a tail dragger by mistake. There we go. Looks like a pawnbroker's balls, doesn't it? Anyway, yeah, so it's very, very nice, and it's very, very collectible. So I would say to you, if you manage to get your hands on one of these, one other thing, just to let you know that it's a special edition. Mr. Tamiya himself has sent us this rather nice card, telling us to stay safe, be strong, and enjoy our special release with some beautiful Japanese cherry blossoms. Slightly unusual postcard, but very nice. Yeah, whatever floats your boat. But it's very polite, typical Japanese, you know. So yeah, it's a nice little offering, and if you don't hurry up and get one, you're probably going to be too late. You're probably too late now anyway. If you haven't heard about this already, you probably missed the boat, I'm afraid. Now, given that we've had other special new releases coming out over the summer, we've had the new what would have been Wingnut Wings Fokker triplane. And if you saw my review on that model, you'll have seen me grumbling about this damaged part, which I thought was unique to mine, even thinking it was the Postman. No, everybody seems to have this problem. Some have got other parts that are off the sprue and missing and broken. There seems to be a bit of a weakness in the way that they mounted it's the central coving for the front of the cockpit, where it meets the middle wing, and I think they've overstressed it a bit, and it's any kind of friction or weight on it, I think it just snaps off, and it takes the part and snaps the part as well. So a lot of people seem to have the same issue, and the story is that Meng have now withdrawn this product, and actually they're going to retool. I don't know the retooling, I presume they are for the actual sprue, to try and fix the problem, because so many people have complained, and it hasn't been a very successful launch for them, I'm afraid. I don't think they did the due diligence of Q&A that Wingnut Wings would have done. For sure, yeah, okay, but yeah, it's a nice model. It is a nice model, but it's a bit disappointing, you know, to be their first release of that type, and then they've dropped the ball a bit, I'm afraid, if we're completely honest about it. While I'm showing you this kit, I think I should also just mention that for the standard one, I found some interesting extras people might be interested in. This is one of them. This is ABBA. This is the 50 cal machine guns, which are really nice in turned brass. Look at those, aren't they nice? Those are beauties. Yeah, that's the one you want. So I've got that for my standard one. I think the truth is I won't be building this special limited edition. I think it's going to be just a collector's item. I think a lot of people will be doing the same thing because, you know, it's a bit of a one-off, a rare little beast, and don't think they want to get my grubby paws and gluey fingers all over that. And yeah, we'll just keep that for the future, I think. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. Not a full review of the entire kit. I mean, you've seen it. I think most people have seen the kit already. It's a beautifully formed thing, and very interesting aircraft because it operated in the ETO, the European Theatre of Operations in World War II, against the Nazis, as well as in the Far East against the Japanese. So it was a very versatile aircraft, a bit like the Mosquito did. That was able to do the same thing, and it fulfilled, I was going to say fulfilled a similar role to the fighter Mosquito, of course, because the Mosquito was a bomber as well. But it was very, very impressive aircraft, and of course the standard one, which has on the cover the markings for, many of you are familiar with this, Miss Virginia, which is 147 Miss Virginia. Well, that's the aircraft that shot down General Yamamoto's Betty bomber. He was being transported in Rabaul, I think it was, Rabaul. And took him out of the war, killed him, and they found him still strapped in his seat with his samurai sword in his hand, would you believe? Quite famous. And if you see the movie The Admiral, I think it's called different movies, or Yamamoto, it's called different names in different regions, but anyway, that's the aircraft that shot him down. So very impressive, and clearly made its mark by doing so. He was the architect of the Pearl Harbor attack, and they sent them out appropriately on a mission called Operation Vengeance, and it certainly was vengeance. They were very successful and killed him, and knocked out all of his fighters too, I think. They pretty much got wiped out by a squadron of Lightnings, and they travelled about 600 miles to get to him, so it wasn't an easy mission. Anyway, I'm digressing. So that's the P-38H Lightning. If you want to get one, you might have to pay over the odds for it, but you might get one. Some people may still have stock, and it's item 25199. 25199. Beautiful aircraft. Nice to have it with this extra option. Whether you actually want to build it, that is a matter for you. Personally, I think in the future I'll probably build a standard one, but there we go. Anyway, as I say, sorry it's been a bit late coming this. I should have had it out to you earlier in the week, but Pussycat wasn't very well, so I didn't have a chance. I had to take her to the vets and all that stuff. So, thanks for joining me. Hope you enjoyed the little chat. No, it's been very brief, but I think people know what they're getting in terms of the basic kit. They just want to see the differences and what's interesting about the new parts. Quite an interesting offering. Coming in the near future, we've got a few other new kits from Airfix. We've got the 1/72nd scale Blackburn Buccaneer B2B, I think it is, the RAF version. That's a subject close to my heart because I used to live in the RAF Honington in Suffolk when I was a kid, and they used to fly over my house pretty much literally every day, several times. So that's what I'm looking forward to. And I've also got from Airfix, due around November, if they can keep on schedule, because obviously COVID has affected their lead times and things, but they've got the Avro Vulcan B2, and that's completely retailed, and that's going to be really nice. It's about, I think it's about 60 to 65 pounds, so it's not cheap. It's going to be 1/72nd scale. That's quite a lot of money, but it looks beautiful. We're just waiting to see some proper photographs of the first actual kits that have been done, but they're not forthcoming as of yet, so we wait for that. And the other ones that are coming, there's a big new Tornado coming from Italeri, which is supposed to be very nice, and also there's the Farewell Tornado coming from Revell, which is quite a good kit actually. It's got the Farewell RAF markings for the obviously at the start of early 2019 they withdrew the Tornado, and you can see the fly past on one of my other videos if you look back in the collection. So anyway, there's some new models coming soon. Please tune in because I hope to get my hands on some of them at least. one or two of them, and in the meantime, things not looking so good on the COVID front, so please stay safe, wash your hands, keep your distance, all that stuff. Hopefully we'll have some new interesting videos coming for you to see very soon, and in the meantime, please, if you enjoyed the vid, like, share and subscribe to the channel, and I hope to see you all again very soon indeed. Take care of yourselves. Bye for now.